Regularly scheduled meeting of the Waterville City Council. There are agendas that are available on the table near the entrance or online at the city website. Consent agenda items are routine items which are voted on in one motion and vote. Unfinished or new business items are voted on separately. Councilors will be given an opportunity for questions or comments, followed by citizens who must speak at the podium and identify themselves. Citizens will be allowed to speak one time per agenda item for up to 3 minutes. Citizens who do wish to speak on a topic that does not appear on tonight's agenda will have the opportunity to do so during the public comment section of the agenda for up to 3 minutes. First up, the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next up, any disclosure of conflict of interest on any of the votes that councilors will take this evening? Councilor Beal?
I'm on the board with the Waterville Community Land Trust, so I'm not going to vote on that one.
Okay, noted. Anyone else? Seeing none. All right. First up this evening, we do have a proclamation. So I'm going to just walk around up front and ask the folks from the United Way to join me up front, if that would be acceptable to them. Always love to celebrate a birthday, just not mine. So it's with that, I am excited to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the United Way Kennebec Valley. So we have this proclamation. Whereas the United Way of Kennebec Valley is dedicated to serving the residents of Kennebec Valley since its establishment in 1955. And on July 19th, 2025, we proudly celebrate its 70th anniversary. For 7 decades, the United Way has effectively mobilized resources, raised funds, and brought together partners within the Waterville community to tackle the most pressing challenges faced by our region, fostering equitable programs that enhance the lives of all and strengthen our community. And whereas through a collaborative network of nonprofit partners, businesses, donors, and volunteers, the United Way has made a profound impact on the lives of over 1 million local individuals and families with a focus on education, financial stability, and health. And whereas the United Way has evolved from a modest community fundraiser into a powerful advocate for social good, continually expanding its annual campaign impact and engaging corporate and civic and individual supporters in a significant and meaningful ways. And whereas the United Way has been instrumental in the emergency response and recovery efforts, providing vital assistance in the aftermath of community fires and pandemics, and addressing critical needs such as housing, food security, and access to health services, as well as other essential nonprofit and residential requirements. And whereas the commitment of the United Way to innovation and community-led solutions is exemplified by initiatives such as Impact 2032, a comprehensive vision aimed at improving long-term outcomes for every resident in Kennebec County. Now, therefore, I, Michael Morris, as Mayor of Waterville, on behalf of the City Council and the residents of Waterville, do hereby proclaim July 19th as the University of Kennebec Valley Day, and invite all citizens to join in recognizing and celebrating the invaluable contributions the United Way, as well as honoring the dedication of its staff, volunteers, and supporters who have tirelessly worked to uplift our community. Yeah. So I present this to you. Thank you. You're very welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'll keep this brief, but my name is Courtney Yeager, and I'm the president and CEO at United Way of Kennebec Valley. Thank you to the mayor and to all of you on City Council for this meaningful proclamation. It's truly an honor to be recognized by the city of Waterville, a community that welcomed us just a few short years ago when we expanded our service area to include all of Kennebec County. When the United Way of Mid-Maine, which was in Waterville, decided to close its doors in 2021, we knew that this region and its people still deserved a strong and steady United Way presence. So we made a conscious choice to step in, not just to continue the important work already happening here, but to build upon it. Today, we are proud to serve Waterville and all of Kennebec County under one United Way with intention, compassion, and a deep commitment to local people. This 70th anniversary celebration belongs to so many people, our passionate staff, our dedicated board of directors, some of whom are here tonight, and this whole community who've embraced us and stood alongside us as we've learned, listened, and invested. In just a few short years, we've had the chance to support Waterville area nonprofits through funding to the tune of more than $640,000 invested this year in 44 local programs. Connect students to volunteer opportunities through Day of Caring, which we brought to Waterville Senior High School for the first time 3 years ago. And it's now been our longest standing Northern Kennebec Day of Caring, and it's one of our largest in the region as well. And we're also partnering with organizations and leaders who share our belief that every person deserves the opportunity to thrive. United Way's founders in 1955 believed something simple and powerful, that when people come together to give what they can, time, talent, or treasure, our entire region becomes stronger. That belief continues to drive us forward. And today, because of many communities like Waterville, our United Way family is supporting more programs every year. Over the past 70 years, our United Way has invested tens of millions of dollars in the Kennebec Valley region, supporting local programs and initiatives. We try to answer the call anytime there is a crisis, and we work alongside partners like our municipalities to build something that lasts. And we're not done yet. Thank you for believing in this mission, for welcoming us into your city, and for helping us prove that United is the way. We're just getting started, and we can't wait to keep building this future for all of Kennebec County with all of you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Connie. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you. All right, great. Next up, we have a presentation from the EMS Paramedicine Deputy Chief. Good evening.
Hello, hello. So this will be a quick little overview of our community paramedicine program that we started back in early 2024. A bit of it is a bit of a review from last time I did this, and then I've got some updated numbers on some of the work we've been doing. So, and of course, we finally have the community paramedicine grant funding coming down to us, and we're super excited about that. All right, we'll get started. Yep. So we do have a definition here in the state of Maine what community paramedicine is. So it's outside of the 911 realm, of course, and we provide out of hospital setting, people's homes, street side, whatever the case may be. It's under direction and referral process by a medical provider. And it's sort of like that episodic care. It's not chronic care necessarily. It's getting in, finding out what's going on with the patient, and making a timely report out to the physician. Next slide. We continue to, target, high-risk medical patients, and of course, those that are unhoused and have other substance use issues. We do work still collaboratively with our local partners. Todd Stevens at the police department, he does give me calls on a fairly regular basis to help assist with healthcare needs of folks out on the streets, and that's been very successful, connecting folks to resources and healthcare. Yep, next slide. As far as like high-risk medical patients, these are sort of the primary illnesses that we do encounter. And primary illnesses we encounter not only on community paramedicine, but also on the 911 side of things. So certainly cardiac-related events, congestive heart failure. Congestive heart failure is just one of those things where it gets very difficult to manage as a chronic condition, even for their primary healthcare provider. Those types of patients typically have a high instance of readmissions back to the hospital. So these types of cases where patients are admitted to the hospital and then discharged home, these are the type of referrals that we tend to get to go check on these patients, because when they get home, it's a very sensitive time post-discharge from the hospital, because we want to make sure these folks are successful at home and not readmitted to the hospital. Next slide. Again, so our primary focus when we do community paramedicine, of course, is our general clinical assessments, which can range from vital signs to lung sounds to EKGs and that sort of thing. We've done patient weights even when it's applicable. Certainly those follow-up cases for congestive heart failure, COPD. Lab collection, we've done a lot of blood draws, and those are particularly for patients that have a difficult time getting to those outpatient settings for whatever reason in the world. They have a hard time walking. They don't have transportation and stuff like that. And so those are barriers that are very prevalent here in the city of Waterville. So we do get a fair amount of referrals for those sorts of things. And that data in and of itself for lab collection and stuff like that is very, very valuable for the primary healthcare provider. These prevention assessments, we do a lot of fall risk assessments and home safety assessments here in the city of Waterville, where the primary healthcare provider may have a concern, or an emergency department may have a concern where a patient has repeatedly come in for falls. We'll get a referral from an emergency room physician and be like, hey, get in there and check out their home, find out what's going on, and see if we can sort of mitigate these falls that the patient's encountering. And then lastly, education. We do provide a fair amount of chronic disease education to these patients. And again, it's all about patients being successful in their home and whatever we can do and provide to them so we can mitigate stress on emergency services and the hospitals here in this area. Next slide. So again, we're trying to mitigate hospital readmissions. We do provide, when we visit these patients, one of the most valuable things is that we get to lay eyes on patients while they're inside the home and their living conditions. This is information that their primary healthcare provider is they're unable to acquire. Doctors don't make those home visits like they used to, decades ago. We get in there, we're able to make a report and directly communicate our findings to the primary healthcare provider so they can have a good care plan moving forward with the patient. Next slide. Of course, when we first started doing this program in early 2024, again, we're trying to mitigate the stress on emergency services here in the city of Waterville. Again, that was with two emergency departments and wanted, full-fledged hospital here in Waterville. We're still under a great deal of stress, and now that burden is even higher. And community paramedicine, I would dare say, has even increased value, given the healthcare climate. And really, and it's not a Waterville problem. We see it across the state. We see it across the nation now. And we're worried about funding. We're worried about healthcare funding and so on and so forth. And so community paramedicine, certainly globally, has like this incredible value now to community healthcare. Next slide. So these are our numbers right now. I would love to be able annually to increase our numbers. That's my goal. It's all about getting the almighty referral to come down the pathway from whether inpatient settings, primary healthcare settings, and so on and so forth. We work diligently to try to maintain that communication with our healthcare partners. My biggest thing that I tell folks in the hospitals and in the primary healthcare world is that no job is too small. If you're worried about a patient or they're on a new medication or something like that, give us a referral. We will go check on them for you. That's easy work, that's not a big deal, and that's where community paramedicine, has huge value. The medication reconciliations, we've done a pile of those. On the 911 side of things, anecdotally, I can say that after a patient has an inpatient admission, they get discharged, their medications may be all in disarray. They may have added medications, their dosages may have changed, they may have had medications that have been deleted out of their medication record. That gets very, very, very confusing for people that are they're not well tuned into healthcare or even their own healthcare concerns. And a lot of times it's that mismanagement of their own medications that they end up back in the hospital. And we see that on the 911 side of things. So for us to get in there and just make sure that they're dosing themselves appropriately, make sure they have the medications that they need. I've had our CP providers go to the local pharmacy and pick up the patient's medications for them because they find out the patient has barriers. Transportation, for instance, they can't get their own medications from the pharmacy. So they've called me and say, what do you want me to do? I said, go get it. Go get their medication, because this is going to mitigate a disaster for the patient. So, we're doing stuff like that, and it's very, very meaningful. We've done a few medication and vaccine administrations. What I'd like to do sort of later this summer and into fall, I would really want to promote our program with the local healthcare partners to do more in-home vaccinations and stuff like that, especially for influenza. We had a bad season for influenza and RSV and pneumonia and stuff like that this past year. Folks, again, who have those barriers to get to the primary healthcare office or otherwise, we want to get those referrals and get those vaccines to those people right in their homes, in the comfort of their own homes. That's a big deal. And providing, connection to resources and everything else. And we'll talk more about that and some of our success stories that I have that I'm going to share. Next slide, please. These are the organizations that we've been receiving referrals from over this past year. We've even gotten out to Reddington Fairview. Their primary healthcare offices, particularly one in Norwich Walk, has reached out, and I've had several conversations with those folks who have patients here in Waterville. I know that in my conversations with just Reddington Fairview's leadership, that Northern Light patients, they've absorbed a pile of those folks. And so they continue to live in this area that now receive their primary health care at Reddington Fairview. So I anticipate getting more of those types of referrals from Reddington Fairview as well, as we sort of advertise our program more and expand it to more places and healthcare institutions. But these are the folks that we've been serving so far, and it's been widely successful. Next slide. I just have a couple cases, maybe 3, that I just want to share with you folks. This one was, sort of a profound case where we had an elderly female who has a disabled adult son at home. I believe in this case she was also initially losing her primary health care with Northern Light. And of course, it was a super big deal because she didn't know how to navigate that. So we helped her navigate that. And in doing so, we ended up getting in the home. We did several visits for her and also made her home safer. We made sure, of course, being part of the fire department, people are super dialed into fire safety initiatives, smoke detectors in the home, where they need to be, how to check them, and so on and so forth. Our folks even rearranged their furniture, made sure there wasn't extension cords, just reduced trip hazards. Okay, this elderly woman is taking care of her adult son, and we need to make them as successful as possible in the home. If she suffers a fall and breaks her hip, that's going to be hugely detrimental, not only her but also her son that she takes care of. And our folks were also able to hook them up with outside resources and connect those resources, like the patient support specialist in the home. And super proud of this work in this case. Next slide. we had several encounters with this particular patient on the 911 side of things, and then we were able to loop him into community paramedicine. And this is a patient who was suffering from late-stage COPD. And ultimately, we're able to provide them with information and advanced directive information that where the patient's family ended up taking that information and we're able to enroll her into hospice. Hospice is an amazing service to make her comfortable for like end-of-life care. I'm proud to say that we were able to sort of establish that relationship and that pathway to assist the family with this case, and that's very important. Again, people who are not healthcare literate, they don't know how to start this process, so we're able to help with that. Next slide, please. We have this a lot here in the city of Waterville, folks who have trip hazards and fall hazards in the home. Again, we're able to not only mitigate those hazards, but we're able to connect her to resources, one of which was Waterville Housing. It's very simple call to Waterville Housing to sort of brainstorm with them, like what can we do inside their residence in their apartment? Can we put up, grab rails or something like that, near a bathroom or bedroom or something like that to help mitigate fall risks? Waterville Housing's been a great partner to work with as a resource here in the city, and also was able to, start connecting her with PDSS services, so she has more routine care to help her. Do simple things, clean up, do dishes, laundry, stuff like that. So, because we don't necessarily do those sorts of things in our programming, but we're able to connect it to those resources. Again, these are not earth-shattering things. We're not going out there and, like we do on the 911 side, reviving people and providing all this great critical care medicine. But these little things are so profound, and it's so easy to do it on the community paramedicine side, and it makes people very, very successful in the home and safe, and super proud of it. Next slide, please. So currently for our community paramedicine grant funding, we are getting $103,345 from Maine EMS, thankfully. And right now, because of the funding coming late, it's sort of interrupted our initial plan for it. I was really wanted to try to get somebody Monday through Friday in. We will continue to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 hours a day. We continue to be successful doing that. And we'll continue to work and try to grow our program the best we can. Part of that that amount, of course, to cover wages. There's also a pile of money that we're going to allocate for training, because Maine EMS now is requiring educational requirements for community paramedicine and to maintain it on our EMS license. So as much as I value education, we had to. It costs money. So thankfully, we have the money to do this in this grant, so we can get people up to date and get their credits. And of course, equipment, CP-related supplies and equipment is a bit different than on the 911 side. One of the things I would like to get is a vein finder. To help us do the blood draws in the home. These folks who have chronic illnesses, sometimes it's very, very difficult to find a vein and draw blood or even get an IV on. So one of the things I'd like to get and just make our lives easier and more comfortable for the patient is a vein finder, so we can get these blood draws done and provide this meaningful data to their primary healthcare provider. So I look forward to doing that. Next slide. And there's my people right there. They're super proud to participate in community paramedicine, and I'm very thankful that our career staff is willing to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They do a great job. So, any questions?
Sure.
This program is one of the things I'm the most proud of, the emergency response here in Waterville. My father was one of the unicorns that you referred to. He was a a home visit physician for 30 years in inner city Detroit, working with the Visiting Nurses Association. And I went on many of those calls with him, serving some of the very most marginalized people in the city of Detroit. And so I know firsthand how important, how fundamental this kind of care is. It is frontline care. It makes the community that we live in better for what I think to be an incredible bargain. The numbers you just put up there, that was about $400 per call, 235 community paramedicine calls at $103,000. That's $440 a call. That's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. My mother, until recently, was an elderly woman living with a developmentally disabled adult son, my brother, and needed help connecting with hospice care. Where she lived, unfortunately, was not in Waterville, and she had a hard time navigating this landscape. So what you're doing is so important. It's so important. My one wish would be that this is not a special program that a community that like Waterville would be privileged to have. This should be standard community medicine nationwide. I want it in every community, and it needs to be funded at a higher level than this. There's a greater need than you're doing a fantastic job, but I know you would like to do more. I'm sure you would like it to be not just Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so I just want to thank you, thank your whole team for everything that you're doing and commitment to this program. It's so important.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I will say, well, one of the things when I met with Health Reach, community health centers, and worked with those folks, that was one of the questions they had was, is this everywhere? And no, it's not, unfortunately, and it's so needed. It's so needed here. Unfortunately, we don't have those funding pathways like we do on the EMS side, 911 side of things, and even it's not great. But unfortunately, without the funding pathways, insurance-wise, it's a very difficult thing for organization, EMS organization, to stand it up. But we're fortunate. We're fortunate to be able to do it here in Waterville. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
I would just echo everything, well, Tom's comments. Absolutely. I'm really grateful that we got this funding back and that it's I know making such a difference. I'm just curious, where is the nearest community with another program like this? If you know.
So Maine Health, who also their EMS division, North Star, they do community paramedicine. So they sort of they're kind of spattered some, in southern Maine a little bit. North Star has historically and continues to serve Franklin County, so quite rural.
Okay.
Topsom Fire Department has a community paramedicine program that they've been using grant funding for. This year, this current fiscal year now, their community is paying for it. So they also applied for this grant, and they used it for mostly capital purchases, and the town is paying for it now through tax. So they've established the need. They've showed its value. They said, yeah, we're going to pay for it. So they got one person that works, Monday through Friday and does all the work and basically manages it, and has taken it over and is making all the connections throughout the healthcare realm and knows the patients and everything else. And so Topsom is doing a great job of that. So.
Well, yeah, again, wonderful that we have this in our community. It's hard to imagine
Thanks.
doing without.
if it's up. Yep. now
Okay,
it's-
that's better. Yeah, I just want to reiterate the same, how grateful I am for this program. I just want to say, though, you commented about the impact might not be as profound as 911. But I would in some ways disagree, because I think, you're reaching, you're going into a home, say, with an elderly patient, but they also have a family that's really grateful, that might live nearby, might live far away, and you're providing them with some peace of mind, as somebody who has elderly folks in my family who, live alone. And, I know for myself that would be really meaningful to me. So, just know that I think it's way more impactful and meaningful than, you might realize.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Great update. Okay, moving on to the city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. The contractor is set to begin construction of the Quarry Road project next Monday. The Impact Task Force meeting is tomorrow at 2 o'clock at the fire station, and I plan to bring an update of the committee's work at the next council meeting. The police department has many unpaid parking tickets. They are going to be using social media and sending reminders to the offenders to pay the tickets before next collection options are considered. I'd like to shout out to the city's PSAP staff. They were the quickest PSAP in the state for the month of June and had 0 overflow 911 calls out of 1,569 total calls. Even more impressive are the average caller ring times was just 3 seconds. Additionally, dispatchers gave 11 minutes of CPR instructions while performing emergency medical dispatch with 1 possible life saved. So kudos to the PSAP staff. That's all I have. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, moving to council comments and/or committee reports. Any councilors have any council update, committee updates or comments that they would like to make? Councilor Green?
Yeah, I just wanted to announce that the Waterville Municipal Caucus for the Democrats will be held on July 29th.
Tuesday.
Sorry, yeah. And that is for Ward 3 and 5 for City Council and Board of Education. And there are also 2 seats for the Kennebec Water District trustees that are up for reelection.
Where is that caucus again?
It will be here at the Annex at 6:00 p.m.
Anyone else? Councilor Klepak?
Yeah. So the Friends of Quarry Road secured a grant to repaint the murals underneath the overpass on the way into Quarry Road. There's those giant freeway pylons. There's about 6 of them under there. So the project, the funds need to be spent by August 23rd. So there's going to be a flurry of activity under the overpass in the coming month while the road is shut down, as Cornell pointed out. And we are looking for happy and artistic, enthusiastic volunteers to help with the project. This can range anything from scrubbing off the old silicone coating, priming, and then and painting new murals, designing images if that is in your wheelhouse. Anyways, if you are interested in that, you can contact either, ideally, Jeff Tucker, who is the program, I don't know what Jeff's actual title is, program coordinator, director, or whatever he is out there at Quarry Road. J. Tucker, J-T-U-C-K-E-R, at waterville-me.gov, or you can contact me as well. But, and we will happily take volunteers for that project in any capacity. Thank you.
Anyone else? This weekend, my wife and I had, on Saturday, we had a day of the arts, as I like to call it. Saturday afternoon, we attended the summer luncheon up at Colby, celebrating some artists and their bodies of work. It was a great event. It was the second time that I've been able to attend, and great partnerships and good collaboration, good conversations with a lot of folks that were up there. Saturday evening, we went to Snow Pond for the New England Music Camp. Is a camp. They have their Pops concert, and there's probably between the chorus and the band, there's about 150 kids that are attending this 5-week session. It's interesting to see because they're from all over the country. There are 4 kids in this particular session at the camp currently from Maine, and 2 of them are from Waterville. Both of them are members of the South End Teen Center. So it's really cool to go up and see not only these kids perform beautiful pieces of music, at levels that are just great, but just to see a couple of kids from Waterville also up there participating was fantastic. So kudos to them, and like I said, it was a great performance. So that's what we have. So yeah. All right. With that, public comments. Any member of the public wish to make any comments this evening? Anyone online this evening? Okay. Wonderful. With that, I know at the beginning I did say that traditionally the consent agenda are routine items which are voted on in one motion and vote. That was a little bit different this evening. So with that, can I get a motion to remove the 6:27 minutes? They are incomplete. We need to amend them. So that's why we're removing them from this particular.
So moved.
Second.
All right, and we're good. Okay, all those in favor? Okay. All right. Now, as I understand, we need to vote on the consent agenda as it is. So I would entertain a motion to vote on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? All right. And now, what?
Yeah,
You
okay,
good?
go ahead.
No,
Set me up.
Sorry. I guess now we need a motion to amend the minutes of the June 27th meeting
By substitution.
by substitution. Yes.
And all counselors should have a copy of this. So I'll move that we accept the minutes amended by substitution.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? All right. And now we need to move as amended?
No, that's fine.
Okay. So we're good? Yep. Okay. Great. Now I will entertain a motion then to read by title only.
Motion to read by title only.
Second.
All those in favor? Wonderful, thank you. Okay, moving on to Order 126, 2025.
Accept purchase of a mass spectrometer for the Waterville Fire Department.
Move to adopt.
Okay,
Second.
all right. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Gilly,
Yes.
Counselor Klepak,
Yep.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal,
Yes.
Counselor Herard.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to Order 139, 2025.
Accept a grant from Efficiency Maine for Level 2 electric vehicle EV chargers community location.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any comment? Seeing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Gilly,
Yes.
Counselor Klepak,
Thank you, Michael Hall. Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal,
Yes.
Counselor Herard.
Yes.
Now the vote is 6 in favor, 0 opposed, sorry.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, moving on to Order 138, 2025.
Approve 2025 Stephen and Tabitha King Foundation Grant,
Move to adopt.
$40,000.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, can I get a roll call, please, Dee?
Counselor Gilly,
Yes.
Counselor Klepak.
Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum.
Yes.
Counselor Beal,
Yes.
Counselor Herard.
Yes.
6 in favor, 0 opposed, sorry.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on to new business, Resolution 142, 2025.
Authorize the issuance of a Vichler license to Mohammed Al-Jendi, doing business as Jendi Crepe and Smoothie LLC.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, any discussion, any comment? I don't see them here this evening. All right, with that, all those in favor? All right, moving on to Resolution 143, 2025.
Approve a $2,748 in additional funding from the Wealth Grant Fund for exterior improvements for application 2025-1 as submitted by the Waterville Community Land Trust.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Any opposed? None, okay. So it's 5-0. All right, Resolution 144, 2025.
Approve an abatement request, Ambrosia Kirian.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Any questions? Want to touch on this real quick or no?
Sure. It was a city error that this property owner was charged for a pool that did not exist. The assessor has the authority to abate 2 years' worth of taxes, so anything beyond that requires municipal official approval. Therefore, that's why it's coming to you.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. With that, all those in favor? Okay. Moving on to Resolution 145, 2025.
Waive the competitive bid process and award a bid for electric vehicle charging station to E.S. Boulos Company.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. Any questions?
Is this what we had a conversation with at the last meeting? If I
That was
remember.
for the spectrometer.
Yep.
Those chiefs for the spectrometer, which we cleared up after
Yep, that's what I thought.
the history of emails going back and forth. But we hung in there and we got it good, so yeah. So no, this would be different. And I believe when we did this bid, we had to put in a company. Is that how that worked? And that's, yeah, so. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none. With that, I will take a roll call. I mean, all those in favor? Thank you. Okay. All right, Resolution 146, 2025.
Approve request to transfer unassigned fund balance from Public Works Road Maintenance account to reserve fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. Okay. Matt, you want to talk about this real quick? Sure. Please.
All right. So what we're proposing to do is to combine these funds from our operating budget last year with reconciled funds from our paving bonds from 2024 and 2025, giving us roughly $250,000 to do streets that are in especially poor condition, small sections of streets, sections of sidewalks that are in horrible condition, dead ends. We have a short list now that we're working with our engineers, Andy and John Lombardi. We'd like to present to Cornell at some time soon, once we have a budget, and then go out to bid. The money that was added in the budget last year, it was a significant amount of money, $100,000, between $100,000 and $125,000, but that's really not a lot to do paving. with. So we thought it made a lot of sense to combine these these reconcile funds from past bonds to give us a nice pot of money, to make it worth give us our biggest bang for the buck. Treatment for these streets will be shim overlays, as opposed to reconstructions, which are much more expensive. It's difficult to say how long this treatment lasts, but best guess would be 6 or 8 years. Sometimes it's 10 or 12 years if it's low volume streets that don't get a lot of traffic. They've served us very well in the past, and they don't cost a ton of money. They're not streets that are on our 5-year paving plan. So they would be in addition to those streets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Any questions from the council? Councilor Klebeck?
So, can you just help me understand, that's interesting to me, the shim overlay versus the reconstruction, and maybe this is a question better aimed at the engineer, but.
It may be.
Yeah. So, at $200,000, how many yards or miles or meters of roadway can you hope to get for that?
I don't think that's not a question I would be able to answer, and I don't know that Andy could either.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that a ballpark number that I keep in my head is that for 1 mile of a reconstructed road, that's when we pull up everything that's existing, redo the base, everything. It's about $1 million.
Mm-hmm. And then the shim overlay for a mile is
I
what?
don't. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
And then a reconstructed road would last 20 years?
They say 15 to 20. That's the best guess on a reconstructed road, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So a shim is where basically the road's there already, and they just come and put, however, do you know a thickness of what they lay down?
No, it's not typically more than an inch, maybe an inch and a half.
Yeah, please.
That's where they chew the surface off and then they.
No, this is, they spray like a.
So the shim is what you put down to get your profile, and then your overlay gives you a uniform thickness of maybe 1.25 inches.
Yeah.
If you don't shim ahead of time, you pave it, and then the rollers come in, and you pretty much just match what was there, and then you get the same potholes and stuff.
Gotcha.
So the shim, that's a total process. There's no milling or reclaiming of the road or reconstruction of the road. So. But you get a lot more road done for the money, and again, if, like Matt said, if it's a side road or the end of a road where, dead end roads and stuff, they'll last quite a while. At main roads, you don't do that too very often because they only get about 3 years out of a heavily traveled road.
Yeah. And so a couple more questions, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
The move to brine that we made as opposed to the road salt, can we hope to have more lifetime out of these with that?
No, we didn't make that move.
We didn't?
No.
Oh. We were considering
we talked about it, right?
Yeah,
but
we never did it.
We
right.
haven't.
Okay, well then, pardon me. If we had made that choice, would that impact this lifetime or not significantly?
I would expect it wouldn't speed up the breakdown process,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't really be able to say with certainty.
Yeah, and then one last question. What part of town are you looking at? What ward?
All over. Right now, mobilization is one of the factors that we'll consider, before we go out to bid, because mobilization is sometimes a big percentage of when people come in, they're going to charge X amount. So we're going to want to kind of condense them, but we don't really have that pinned down quite yet. So they're these streets and sections of streets are all over the city. Mm-hmm. So really, it's going to be working with these guys and with Cornell, and I don't know if he'd like to pull some of you all in to determine which streets. We'll probably have more than a dozen streets to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say on behalf of myself, Councilor Green, and Councilor Beal, thank you for doing such a beautiful job on Burley Street, because it touches all of our wards. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
great.
very beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, can I get all those in favor, please? All right, thank you very much. Moving on to Resolution 147, 2025.
Acceptance of a bid for a striker power load and power cot.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Chief, you want to talk about what we're doing? It's pretty, seems pretty straightforward, but.
Crazy number. Stretchers have like blown up. This will basically outfit our third ambulance that we have, which is used as a third for calls. It's always in rotation when one's going out getting fixed. So this will make sure that all three of our frontline ambulances have the same power load and power cot. So basically, you do not have to pick up a stretcher anymore like we used to, and you don't have to load it anymore like you used to. It hooks into a system, it brings the wheels up, and it slides it into its own track. It's a back saver. It's a back saver. And this is coming from our grant that we had, sustainability grant. It's way more than we thought it was going to be, but we don't normally have 83,000 laying around, so this is the time to do it if we're ever going to.
Sure. Awesome. Well, great. Well, thank you very much. With that, any questions from the council? Seeing none. Oh, you have a question, comment?
I just wondered what the lifetime of these things is.
I know that if you can see the warranty work on it, it has a 72-month on the power load and a 60-month on the power care. We've had these in our trucks now for, one of them is 3 years old, and we don't really have many issues with them. So I don't know. They're pretty new systems. Reddington's been running them for a while, and you guys have had them in your trucks forever, right?
Yeah, over 10 years.
Yeah, and they're still, the batteries are usually the most expensive part. If they break, they are expensive to fix, but we don't have many issues with them at all.
You're not kidding.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Any other comments from the council? Yes, Councilman.
So I presume then this will be kind of rolled into our capital plan for replacing them, or, just?
Yeah, so what we've done in the past is when our truck that's going to go out to get remounted, is we built that into the plan to put a new power load, power cot in it. These are able to come out and go into new vehicles, so if we can get 10 to 12 years out of one of these, this will go through a couple truck cycles. So we'll just keep putting them in new trucks as we get them. And then what we'll do is, when the time comes and one needs to go away and buy a new one, we'll put it right in the new truck bid. And roll it into a new truck cost would probably be the best thing to do.
Okay.
Because that way they can make sure, because the floors have to be upgraded because they are a heavy system. So you're better off when you buy a new truck to put that right in the bid spec.
Okay, thank you.
All right. With that, can I get a roll call? I'm sorry, all those in favor? Sorry, just want to do roll calls. All right, thank you very much. Moving on to Resolution 148, 2025.
Approve the amended cell tower lease agreement.
Move to adopt.
Second.
And Quinn, I want to just give a brief update of what we're amending.
All I know it's been going on for a really long time.
I can speak on this a little bit.
Into it.
The cell tower that's on the fire station, this is the second amendment that they want to make to the lease agreement that we have. Basically, they want to update and upgrade their communications equipment that's on the tower. But to do that, it's much heavier equipment, so they have to do some remounting. And part of that is they want to put a dunnage on our roof, which I had a real big heartache about. We have a 20-year-old roof up there. It's rubber. I was really worried about that. So at first I said no, but then we worked with them. Andy came over, Dan Bradstreet, my deputy chief, and BC Gromack walked the roof with them. There was concerns about our roof and them putting steel dunnage on it, drilling holes into our rubber roof, and is it going to leak? So we did get put into the amendment that they will hire a contractor to come inspect our roof. They will hire a contractor to come inspect our roof after they are done to make sure that it is done correctly. So that is part of the lease that we had put in there. And that Bill Lee did look at that, and he did approve that language.
Awesome. Okay, great. Any questions from the council? Councilor Green.
Yeah, so does this explain how this benefits the fire department or the city, or are we just lending the roof?
It's just part of their lease that they have with us
This is
now.
for cell service?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For cell service
Yeah.
generally. It doesn't have to
Correct.
do with fire department communications
No,
or anything?
no,
like
this is all cell service.
Okay.
Yep. It's
Okay.
Verizon doing business as.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever's in the lease there, I can't remember. Bell Atlantic, I think.
Okay, thanks.
Were there updates to the terms of the lease, given the increased capacity or something like that, or are there still?
There was not. It was just an amendment for the upgraded equipment that they're putting on. They're pulling off equipment and just putting on new equipment to update their cell coverage, but the equipment is heavier, so they had to reinforce the tower.
Okay.
With that, all those in favor? All right. Moving on to Order 149, 2025.
Accept a community paramedicine grant and sign a service agreement between Maine DPS and the City of Waterville.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Chief, want to?
First of all, DC Flannery, I want to thank him personally. He has taken, since we started this process, when Chief Essler was here, it kind of became his baby. DC Flannery puts a ton of work into this every day. He goes through all the reports. He makes sure that everything is taken care of the way that it needs to be. He's the one that reaches out to the hospitals, to the doctor's offices. I mean, this is his baby, and when we lost our funding, I thought we were going to have a therapy session with each other. I felt really bad for him, I really did, because he puts a lot of sweat equity into this program, and we were very sad to see it go away, because I do believe that does it decrease 911 calls? I do not know. It's hard to say, we'll never know, but what I can tell you is it does improve people's quality of life in their homes, and I do believe that is the most important thing that we do get out of this. If we can help somebody stay in their home and not have to go to a nursing home or not end up back in the hospital, we owe it to our citizens to help them do that. This grant allows us to do that. I'm so happy that it is back. We wanted this to be a full-time position. It's not going to equal that this year because of the way the funding fell and the way that everything's working, but we can still continue doing what we're doing. We can still continue growing this program. And I want to thank our folks who, they pull these extra shifts and they come in and they put their heart and soul into this. And sometimes it's not about medicine. It's just about being there to help somebody, and some of the success stories that we have are pretty awesome. And I'm so proud to be part of this project, but I would just want to thank DC Flannery for all the hard work he puts into this, and we are going to, fingers crossed, that we will see this come through again next year. We don't know what the cards will hold, but this is a big deal. This is a big deal in this area.
Yeah. I agree. All right. With that, all those in favor? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And thank you, Deputy Chief. We appreciate all your hard work and efforts. Okay, Order 150, 2025.
Accept the GOPIF Community Action Grant to add solar panels to the Alphon Municipal Pool Complex and weatherization of the Waterville Regional Airport.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, any questions, comments? Yes, sir.
So this project and the one that the grant award from Efficiency Maine for the EV charging that we accepted earlier in the meeting, both of these came out of work that was done by the Resiliency Committee. And the money, the awards, in excess of $70,000 for this and $34,000 for the Efficiency Maine. Those two total, all of that work was done by Michael Hall, right? And so in just this one meeting, we are accepting grant funds in excess of what it cost the city to have Michael Hall on the payroll. He paid for himself many times over with other grants that he secured for the city. So I just want to make sure to point that out to everybody on the city council, that having grant writers pay for themselves. Having personnel on the city council that can write these kinds of grants that make Waterville more sustainable, more resilient to the climate impacts that are coming for us, and make Waterville a better place to live. Michael Hall did work far beyond just the Resiliency Committee. He worked with many people across the various departments in the city of Waterville. So I hope when we are able to finally let Cornell go on and live the rest of his life and get a new city manager in here, that the new city manager is able to attract a similar type of personnel that can continue the forward momentum and land more of these grants. We should not take these grants for granted, pun intended. They're important, and the people that we had, Michael Hall in this case, to land those grants are very important to the future of Waterville. They pay for themselves. These people pay for themselves. So I just want to highlight that.
Listen, I don't disagree with you at all, and again, I mean, every day we don't have somebody in these positions looking and applying for these things is definitely, in my opinion, setting us back a little bit for the things that are out there and how we can move forward throughout without having to rely on taxation and things of that nature. So yeah, I'm in total agreement with you, Councilor.
I can sit and identify grant targets all day and come up with ideas all day, but we need people to write the grants. We need people to write the grants.
Yeah. Okay. All right. With that, all those in favor? All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor, could
Yes.
you mention that the next meeting?
Sorry, yes, I can. Next meeting will be on Wednesday, August 6th. It's a slight departure from our Tuesday, August 5th meeting, and that is so that we don't conflict with the National Night Out Festival down in the South End. I think that's a great festival for us all to attend and say hi and mingle and whatever. So I think that's a great opportunity for us to do that. So we will be meeting on Wednesday, August 6th, same bat time, same bat channel, right here. So thank you. And now with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, thank you.
7.